bright future. Every student matters.
Hello dear students, welcome to another lecture. In this class we are going to begin with chapter 6 of class 7 English Grammar Nagaland Board, which is verbs and kinds of verbs. Now first of all dear students, what do we understand by verbs? This is something which is the first thing taught to the students, at the early age. The action words. So what are verbs? Verbs basically are the action words. That word which connects the subject with the object or the predicate, that is the verb. So in this chapter, we are going to learn about the verb as well as the different kinds of verb. So as I told you, a verb is a word which talks about an action or about being, the verb be, and the different forms of the verb be, which is, am, are, was, were. Or possession, when they link the subject to the object. This is what a verb is. So a verb serves the purpose of performing an action. It serves as the purpose of telling us what is, or it connects the subject with the object. Let us look at some of the examples. Mary put the cups on the table. What is the verb? What is the action that Mary is performing? Putting the cup on the table. The second sentence, the bowler throws the ball to the batsman. So what is the action that we are doing in the sentence? Throws. The river is quite shallow. Is the form of be. So this is being. Next, Shakespeare was the greatest dramatist. Again, was is the form of be. The nightingale has a sweet voice. So what does this has show? What the nightingale possesses. These bungalows have beautiful flower gardens. Again, possession. What do they possess? They possess the flower gardens. So basically a verb either is going to depict what action is taking place, or it talks about what it is, the forms of being, or it talks about the possession. So this is what a verb is. Now let us understand what is the object of the verb. Now let us look at a few examples in order to understand the object of the verb better. If I say, I found a pen. Let us take another example. She has a secret. If I say, Rohan got a new pet. Now basically there are two questions that we ask whenever we have to identify the object of the verb. What and whom? If I ask the question, found what? The answer is a pen is the object of the sentence. If I say she has what? A secret, so that is the object of a sentence. Rohan got a new pet, so got whom or got what again? A new pet, so that is the object of a sentence. So basically, when we ask the question what or whom in the sentence, we get the object which is used in the sentence. The hunter killed the lion. Killed what? The lion. So that is the object of the verb. The chair needs repair. Needs what? It needs repairs. So that is the object of the verb needs. He helps the poor. Helps whom? The poor. So the poor is the object of the verb. My mother loves me. Loves whom? Me. So me is the object of the verb loves. So basically, object of the verb can be found out by asking a question alongside the verb. And the answer that you get is your object. Clear? Next, let us talk about what are the different kinds of verbs. There are two kinds of verbs, transitive and intransitive. Okay? Let us first talk about the transitive verb. Let us take the first example. The woman found a dog. Okay? The boy gave a shout. The watchman helped the lady. Okay? If I say another, again, if I give an example, the soldiers fired the guns. Now look at all these four examples. The woman found a dog. What is the verb? Found. Right? Ask the question. Found what? Are you getting an answer? Yes, I am. And the answer is a dog. Yes? The boy gave a shout. What is the verb? Gave. Ask the question. Gave what? And what did the boy give? A shout. So I have the answer. The watchman helped the lady. What is the verb? Helped. So ask the question. Helped whom? And the answer is the lady. The soldiers fired the guns. What is the verb? Fired. So fired what? The guns. Okay. So transitive verb, my dear students, are those verbs that need an object all the time to complete them. In all these sentences, as you can see, we have found out the object by using the same method that we used earlier to figure out the object of the sentence. So transitive verbs are those verbs that always need an object to make complete sense. On the other hand, if we talk about the intransitive verbs, okay, let me give you some examples now. If I say, okay, he went away, the birds flew, she wrote beautifully, they shouted angrily. So you have four sentences on your screen. Let us first underline the verbs in these sentences. So these are the verbs, these are the action words. Now let us study these sentences. He went away. Now we know that in order to identify the object of the sentence, we ask two questions. What and whom? Try asking these two questions with the verbs written in the four sentences. He went what or he went whom? Do I have the answer to this question? No, I do not. The birds flew what or the birds flew whom? Again, I do not have an object in the sentence. She wrote what or she wrote whom? Again, I do not know the answer to this. They shouted what or they shouted whom? No answer to what and whom. So, though all these four sentences are logically correct, they do fit into the category of being a sentence, but they do not have an object in the sentence to complete or to make it sensible. So, those that need an object are transitive, and those verbs which do not need an object are intransitive in nature. So these are the two types of verbs. Okay, let us look at these examples which you can see. The boy flew what? Kites. I have the answer, so it is transitive. The bird flew away. What flew what? I do not have the answer, so this is intransitive. We grow roses in our garden. We grow what? Roses. I know the object, so again transitive. These plants grow fast. Do I have an object? Grow what? Again, so intransitive. She wrote a letter. Wrote what? A letter, so transitive. She writes well. Do we know what she's writing? No, so intransitive. So those sentences that need an object are transitive in nature, and those sentences that do not need an object are intransitive in nature. Next, there are a few verbs which are also known as linking verbs. What are linking verbs? Linking verbs are basically those verbs which always need again, a complement. They are incomplete without an object, or they are incomplete without a complement. We have read what is the difference between an object and a complement, dear students. Okay? Even if there is no object, if the sentence has a complement, then also the sentence would be okay. For example, this is amazing. Is my verb, right? What does is have? It has a complement, right? There is no object. It is the complement. If I would have written just this is, don't you think I need something along with is to make it complete? Similarly, if I give the example, this appears. What? I need something. This is an incomplete verb. I need something to complete it with. So if I say, this appears scary, or this appears exciting. Okay? If I give you another example, for example, this was what? Was is an incomplete verb. It needs a complement to complete it. So this was, if I say enthralling. She seems. What? I need a complement to complete it. She seems surprised. Okay? So basically, what are the linked words? The linked words are those words which always are incomplete in nature and they need a complement to complete them. For example, all the forms of be, am, is, are, was, were, being, been, then appear, seem, become, these are also incomplete verbs. Feel, grow, look, taste, turn, smell, prove, come, and so on are linked verbs. Now we have to understand that depending on the sentence at times, the verb can be transitive, the verb can be intransitive, and the verb can even be a link verb. Let us look at the examples. I felt the stones under my feet. What is my verb? Felt. Ask the question, felt what? Are you getting the answer? Yes, I do get the answer, the stones. So this is what? A transitive verb. If I say the dead cannot feel, feel what? Do I have an answer? No. So this is an intransitive verb because it does not have an object. We all felt sad at the bad news. What is the verb? Felt. It needed an adjective. It needed a complement to complete it. So this was what? A linking verb. Let us look at another set of examples. Can you smell smoke? Again, ask the question, smell what? Smoke. I have the answer. I know the object. So this is transitive. I have got a cold and I can't smell. Again, ask the question, smell what? Are you getting an answer? No. So this is intransitive. The fish smells bad. Smells, and I have an adjective or a complement to complete it. So this is a link verb. So a verb can be used as a transitive verb, as an intransitive verb, or as a link. There are a few sentences in which there are two objects. If I give you the example, my mother brought me a new pen. She gave him an advice. The teacher distributed chocolates among the students. As you can see in all these three sentences, I have two objects in each sentence. My mother is the subject. Brought is the verb. Two objects. Me is the first object and a new pen is the second object. She gave him an advice. She is the subject. Gave is the verb. Him is the first object and an advice is the second object. Now, out of these two objects also, the first object is the direct object and the second object is the indirect object. So, at times, dear students, in the sentence, we have two objects. And out of the two objects, one object is direct and one object is indirect in nature. So if we look at these two sentences given on your screen, the first one being the teacher gave him a book. Here, as I made you mark, there are two objects, him and book. Now, which of these is a direct object? Direct object is that which is a name that is given to something. Okay, so what is the name which is given in this sentence? A book. So this is the direct object. Indirect object refers to the person, to whom something is done, or we can say the receiver of something in that sentence. That is the indirect object. Who is receiving the book over here? Him. So that is the indirect object. Similarly, if we look at the second sentence, the young man offered her a seat. Now, what is the name which is given to the object that we are talking about here? A seat. So, since this is the name of something, therefore it is a direct object. And who received the seat? Who is the receiver, or who's the one to whom something is done? Her. So, this is what? This is an indirect object. So the name which is given to something in the sentence is the direct object, and the person for whom something is done or who gets something in the sentence is the indirect object. Okay? Next, we also have auxiliary verbs. Now, what are auxiliary verbs? These are very simple. We all use them every time in our sentence. Is, am, are, was, were, do, does, has, have, had. Then the modal verbs that we have: shall, will, should, may, might, must, ought to, used to, dare. All these are the auxiliary verbs. So basically there are 24 auxiliary verbs. And auxiliary verbs include not only the modal verbs but also the forms of be, that is, am, are, was, were. The forms of do, that is, do, does, did. The forms of have, that is, have, has, had. And all the modals. Okay. Let us now look at their usage. Auxiliary verbs help you to form a question. Is there anything new? Will you help me? Can you come here? Would you keep quiet? So they help you form a question. They are very important to form negatives. If you want to make a negative of the sentence, you have to have an auxiliary verb. I have a pen. I do not have a pen. She plays piano. She does not play piano. I go to the temple. I do not go to the temple. So in all these sentences you saw, I needed an auxiliary. Do, does, did. Okay. They are used when you have to give short answers. We use auxiliary verbs. They are very important when we talk about question tags. We have done the chapter on question tags, chapter number 3 of your book. So you know that question tags are framed using the auxiliaries only. And when you have to emphasize on something, I can do it. She may not help me. We should obey our elders. So we use the auxiliaries for giving emphasis. We also have such verbs, to be forms. To be forms refer to those verbs: is, am, are, was, were. These are the to be forms of the verb. Where do we use? We use to be forms of the verb in the continuous tenses. She is playing, they are playing, I am playing, she was playing, they were playing. I use these in the continuous tense. When you have to make a passive sentence, we use the to be form of the verb. Was done, were being played, are done. So we need these in the passive form. At times, these are also used as the main verbs. She is beautiful. They are helpful. She was angry. I do not have any other verb but the to be verbs. These verbs are also again used as the main verbs, as I said. At times we can use the to do verbs. What are the to do verbs? do, does, did. At times, these verbs are also used as main verbs. She did her homework. She does not, live here, let's say. So here I use them as the main verbs. And to have verbs, that is has, have, and had, are used in the perfect tense. Has done, have done, had done, has brought, had brought, have brought. So these, my dear students, are the different types of verbs. We have transitive that need an object, intransitive that do not need an object. Link verbs, which are also known as incomplete verbs because they always need a complement or an adjective to complete it. Then we have the auxiliary verbs, which are 24 in number. We also can have two objects in the sentence. How do we identify what is the direct object? Frame the sentence with both the objects. Whatever sentence is making sense, that object is your direct object. Alright? So now let us move on to the discussion of the back exercises. So the first question is, point out the transitive and intransitive verbs in the following sentences. Name the object of transitive verb. Now in this question, since there are 10 sentences in total, we shall do the first 5. Alright? Mr. Sharma runs a hotel. The first thing you need to do is underline the verb. Ask the question, runs what? Am I getting an answer? Yes, a hotel. So a hotel is my object and this is transitive in nature. The mice have eaten away all the corn. What is my verb? Have eaten. So what is my verb over here? What? I will ask. Have eaten what? Am I getting the answer? Yes, the answer is all the corn. So this is my object and since I need an object to complete this, this is transitive. Grass grows fast. What is my verb? Grows. Ask the question, grows what? Do I have an answer? No. So this is what? This is intransitive verb. She bought a green hat. What is my verb? What? Ask the question, what? Do I have an answer? Yes, a green hat. So this is what? This is my object and the sentence is transitive in nature. He carried a comb in his pocket. Underline the verb. What is the verb? Carried. Ask the question. Carried what? Do I have the answer? Yes, certainly. What is the answer? A comb. So a comb is the object and this is transitive in nature. So you see, if you are going to ask the questions for your verb, this is the easiest way to identify the transitive and the intransitive verbs. Similarly, you are going to do the rest of the sentences. The next question is, complete the following sentences by supplying suitable objects. So you simply have to write the suitable objects. Again, 15 sentences. We'll do the first 7 or 8. Let us do the first sentence. The boy flew a kite, which is an object in the sentence. A driver drives a car. He smelt the smoke. She spoke the truth. He helps her honestly. She sent him a gift. The man pulled the chain. Mr. Rao teaches us English. Okay, so I simply had to write an object at the end of each of them. You can write the object for the rest of the sentences. The next question is, point out the direct and the indirect object. Now this is again something that we have learned The first thing that we are going to do is we are going to underline both the objects. There are 10 sentences. We'll do the first 5. So let us look at these sentences. I gave my friend a book. What are the two objects that I have in the sentence? My friend and a book. What is the name which is given to something? A book. So this is the direct object. And who is the one who's receiving the book? My friend. So it is the indirect. My friends bought me presents. Two objects again, me and presents. What is the name that we've given to something? Presents. So that is the direct object. And who is the receiver of the object? Who's the receiver in this sentence? Me. So that is the indirect object. She forgave me for coming late. Now in this sentence, there is just one object, that is me. And that too, this me is not the name which is given to something. Rather, it is somebody to whom something is done. So that means it is the indirect object. I told him the news. Two objects, him and the news. What is the name that we give to something over here? The news. So that is the direct object. And who is the receiver of the news? Him. So that is the indirect object. He lent a jacket to his friend. Again, two objects, a jacket and his friend. What is the name given over here? A jacket. So that is the direct object. And who received the jacket? His friend. So that is the indirect object. All right. Let us look at the last exercise, which says rewrite the following sentences, putting one word in place of each group of words in italics. Choose the right word from the box. The first one has been done for you. So, as you can see, there are a lot of words which are given to us in the bracket, and following this box are 15 sentences. In every sentence, there are few words that are written in italics. We have to replace those group of words written in italics with one of the words from the first one has been done. I always get out of bed at 6 o'clock. So get out of has been replaced with arrive. Right? Let us look at the next sentence. Now, since there are 15 sentences in this question, the first one has been done. So we'll do till sentence number 7. Let us destroy by fire all these old papers. Destroy by fire. What can I replace this with? Burn. Let us burn all these old papers. His wounded leg began to lose blood. So lose blood, what can I replace it with? Bleed. He was present at the meeting. Was present at, how can I replace this with? He attended the meeting. A strong wind began to move with force. So a strong wind, move with force. How can I replace it with? Blow. A strong wind began to blow. The next sentence, he gave a reply to my letter quickly. So gave a reply. He answered my letter. He made known his anger by shouting. So made known his anger. What can I replace it with? He expressed his anger by shouting. So like this, dear students, you are going to do the rest of the sentences as well. Okay.